Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Michelle with Pretty'sProblems.com and I'm here with Keosha Sanders, aka Mama. And today we just completed episode 2 of Table Talk, which we were talking about parenting and dating with children. We talked about a ton of stuff, okay?
Yes,
we really got, well, did we get deep? We got a little deep.
We got a little deep. We may have ruffled a little bit of feathers
Maybe
today,
a little bit of feathers, okay?
but it was all in good. And
it was good spirits. We were trying to lift our people, okay?
Hello.
So in order to see what the stuff we talked about, stay tuned. We hope you enjoyed this video and you'll tune in next Sunday. I will link Keosha's channel down in the description bar so you can check her out live next Sunday when we go live at 8 p.m. Yes. So I hope you like it. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe this video. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about next. And we hope to see you next Sunday.
We will see you next week.
Bye guys. All right, go ahead. Start the live. And we're live.
And we're live.
Did we even tweet and say we're going live?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm like, what?
I don't even tweet.
I'm saying post it.
Hey guys, welcome back. We are here. Me and Mimi.
Hey.
We're here today. Today we're going to be talking about. Wait, we don't have anybody yet. Let's wait a few minutes.
Okay, we can wait a little while. So let's go into parenting. So what do you think? Okay, how about you explain your story and your parenthood?
Okay, as you know, I am a single parent. And I say I'm a single parent because I'm not married.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even engaged yet. Working on it. But I've been a single parent, I say, since my son was about 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long way coming. I was in a relationship in and out for about 6-7 years dealing with him. I don't want to talk about him too much, but it just didn't work out. And for a while, I just kind of felt like, if I'm not with him, I'm not going to be able to have a serious relationship because I have a child. Mm-hmm. And nobody will take me serious because, I don't know.
Had a kid.
I had a kid,
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't like to take on other people's responsibilities. Mm-hmm. And I just, I talk to people here and there, but I never was in like a real relationship, mm-hmm. like after his dad. Mm-hmm. And that question always comes up, like, do you introduce these people to your kid, mm-hmm. or is it appropriate? If it is, when is it appropriate to introduce these people to your kid? You know what I mean? It's a whole lot that goes into it.
Your history with Kamar, how have you approached like introducing people into his life, or like dating while you have him after you broke up with his dad?
It's always, you always got that in the back of your mind. You really don't know because you don't trust. You don't know who to trust. You don't know if you should introduce somebody to your child at that age, because right now he's still at a vital age. Mm-hmm. He's young, real impressionable. So anybody you bring around him, if it's not that right person,
how old is he? He's
9 now, but it's been a long way coming because from 3 to now 6 years is hard. Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I'll tell a little bit about my story. I have a daughter. She's now 5 years old. She just turned 5 years old, and I'm still with her father, but we weren't always together. We were friends for a long time, and then we decided to be in a relationship and got pregnant. It probably was too quick, like, because we were good friends, and so getting into a relationship and then immediately getting pregnant, it puts a lot of strain on what didn't need to be strained. Yeah, and I think a lot of people don't understand how much strain, like pregnancy, like that's just a big thing. A lot of people don't really understand that. But so it put a lot of strain on that relationship, and we had some, issues, and so we kind of went our separate ways while I was pregnant. And, we were kind of like on again, off again, but it was still hard. I mean, I was single, when I first had her. So at that point, I just had a baby, so I wasn't really thinking about like getting back out there dating and stuff like that, you know. So it wasn't like a main thing. I was just trying to figure out how to take care of this new person that I was responsible for.
Right.
But after that, I mean, a few years later, I kind of dated, and a little while after I had her, once I kind of got more comfortable, I just felt like we just weren't going to get back together.
Right.
I kind of dated a little bit, but it was nothing really serious, and I never really brought anybody around my daughter. I didn't. First of all, she was a baby, so it's not like I'm going on dates with a baby, And then my sister was staying with me at the time, so we were I wasn't gonna bring anybody in the house with my sister there, you know. So it was just
Right.
I never really had that issue.
And that was a good thing that you had your sister there.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I kind of
Good
felt like
is
that
an
was
understatement.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because it kind of was like that protection also, being that you was alone, not alone,
Mhm.
but you had the baby and you was raising her by yourself, but you just having that support system there. I kind of feel like that kind of saves people.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes I really don't understand how people don't have a support, or how they make it without having a support system, because having a child is so hard and people really don't realize. Like I was telling my sons, and I it's a long story, but I have 2 stepsons, and
Okay.
they're like my sons, like they're
Right.
full time, you know, we all
Shout out
live
to
together.
Keon and Andre.
And so, so I was talking to them the other day, and I was asking them if they realize how hard it is to be a parent, because you know, kids they don't realize it,
right.
and it's like they think that you don't make mistakes. They think that
You know everything. You know everything. To everything.
Exactly.
And it doesn't always work out like that. But then they're kids. They don't understand the capacity of being. We're adults.
all,
You know what I
no.
mean? We've been there before.
Mhm.
Even growing up, I can remember when we was living with our parents and we didn't have we had no bills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
No
So
responsibilities.
no responsibilities.
We knew that if you asked your mom for something, she was gonna find a way to get it.
She had to get it for you, or you had an attitude.
Yeah.
You just didn't understand why.
Mhm.
How could she not get this for me? Why would she not? But at the end of the day, like, I'm here in this situation now, and I'm like, come on, you need to chill out with asking me for this and that and the third when I just
Oh
paid
my.
that rent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I mean, they don't understand. But it I know how it is. This kid,
Yes.
some days I'll be like,
No, but I asked them. I was
If you
like,
don't
do
get
y'all
out of here-
understand?
you get out of here.
And that's being real, because
Yeah.
you be wanting to yoke them up because they really just don't get it. And so I was asking them if they understood like how hard it is to
The
be a
pressure,
parent.
the pressure.
And they don't get it.
Yeah,
they
they don't.
just don't understand. And like, do you understand that we make mistakes? You know, parents don't really know everything all the time. We kind of learning as you go.
Hey, Danny.
Hey.
She's
Oh, hey,
not
our
here with us
co-host.
today.
Oh yeah,
but
we didn't even say that.
she will be here next week.
Yes.
She's out of town
She's
right
watching
now.
live. Hey,
but she
Danny.
will be calling in. Make sure you don't call on this jack.
You gotta call my phone.
Make sure you call on her phone.
Which I don't even have it over here. Anyway, I forgot what
So,
train of thought I was on. But
We kind of lost it.
Yeah.
But you know, just me being a single mom,
Mhm.
and then meeting these different guys. A lot of these guys, especially if they don't have kids,
Mhm.
Lord,
Don't understand.
they just think just
on a different planet.
they kind of feel like you're asking them to step in and play stepdaddy. That is not the case
Mhm.
at all.
Mhm.
I mean, if you are going to talk to a female that has a child, automatically you're stepping into a situation, a family.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You're trying to create a family, or you join. If you don't have the balls to do that, then don't even approach the lady.
But see,
I mean,
you know what,
once
though?
you find out, you can always just.
But that's the
excuse
thing.
yourself.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate. So
Okay.
I kind of stepped in on the other side. Okay, so my fiance had his sons,
Mhm.
and I was in his life. You know, so I kind of had to step into that. What would normally be the stepfather role, you know, I'm there and I had to kind of step into it.
Right.
And honestly, and I wanted to say this too, liking children, like some people mistake the fact that you love children and like, you know, I love children. So
That is not the same
totally
to raising a
different
child.
than raising them. Because honestly, and I'm gonna be
glad you
honest,
said that.
yes, I was thinking about this earlier because I felt like we're gonna be together. You know, I love kids and they're just gonna love me. And honestly, I mean, we got along very well, but once reality hits and it's not just, you know, we're playing with them, we're going to the park. No, okay, now you got to do homework, you got to take them to school every day, you got to make sure they eat, make sure they bathe. You know, they have issues as just children growing up, and you have to address that as a parent.
Yep.
It's totally different. So a lot of times when you're going into a relationship and you're dealing with somebody who has children, you don't have any children, or maybe
Right.
you have a because I had a brand new baby, so I don't know what it's like to raise, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Right.
It's just totally different from having a baby to, you know, having these older children.
Right, and then it's also a strain on the child as well. With a single parent, mom or dad, and that's all they knew. And then somebody new comes into place, and now they have rules. You got expectations of how you think a child should behave, and then I have expectations. And when I say I don't play that,
Mm-hmm.
anybody that knows me,
Mm-hmm.
I don't play that. So,
and you're not biased. You
and
don't
I'm
play that
not
with your
biased.
own.
I don't play that with my own. I can't do a disrespectful child. I can't do it.
And if you have a parent that is allowing that,
Oh
no, it's not gonna work. I was just talking to my girlfriend 2 days ago. Her boyfriend, he has a daughter, and the daughter lives with the mom, but she comes every other weekend. And the mom always sends the little girl over like busted, like, but no. She my friend, but she sent me pictures. I can't say no names. No. You know when a kid is busted. Like, you know when your child is busted. You got her hair 2 months old, like braids.
right.
Grown out.
Right.
You got the little girl with high water pants on. Nothing matches. You know when your kid is busted.
Right.
And so she used to say, like, no, we need to fix her hair. Put some grease on her hair. Like, you know, she needs to get herself together. She's wearing a dress. Don't open your legs when you got your dress. She said she used to say that to the little girl, like, close your legs.
Right.
And he used to get on her, like, why are you talking to her like that? Why you? And it's like, okay, that's just not going to work.
It's not gonna work.
Because you and him have totally opposite parenting styles, even though you don't have any children. You know, and I don't know the whole situation. I don't know what she told me of the situation. But from what she told me of the situation, I could tell that unless y'all come to some kind of common ground with that,
Right.
which I'm so blessed that my fiance and I are pretty much
On the same page.
I mean, we have different styles, you know. We kind of do things differently, but we're also learning and growing with each other.
What about you coming into a situation? Okay, let me start over. So, you know, my mom and my dad have been separated for years. And dad was dating somebody after my mom. They had a relationship for years. And then that ended because she lost her life in a car accident. Not long after that, he got into another relationship where he was married to another female. And at this time, we was already adults. Not adults, but we was young adults. I would say we was, you know, we was 16, 17. So, we kind of grown, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, a situation like that was crazy.
Yes.
You know, we came into a situation where they have to play that parent role to you because they're dating your dad, but they don't have the...
And I think, okay, so I think with that situation, because the children are grown, it makes it really hard because the children are grown. Y'all all know what time it is with paying bills, taking care of kids. You know right from wrong at this point. You know, you're responsible. So that changes the whole game up when you're adults and you have to deal with an adult
child.
Yes, child.
Or just a disrespectful child or someone that thinks that they can't listen to you. Or then the parent just not respecting the kids. Girl,
goes a long way.
Hey, my favorite line, it goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
But that can be really stressful, and for both parties, for the parent and for the kids. So I just you got to be careful because I mean even our other we got our co-host here. She she's married and he has kids and stuff like that. They're older, so I wish she was here so she could talk about it. But she'll be back next week.
But I think being on the same page with your partner or even having those types of conversations, because some people don't have the conversations. Some people don't say, okay, they're afraid to have the conversation.
Oh my God, fear paralysis from taking action.
Seriously.
I mean, you cannot be afraid. You can't be afraid. A lot of people just let a lot of things slide because they're afraid to approach the person, or you know what I mean, and say what their standards are because they're afraid that the person is going to leave. Listen, if the person is going to leave, they're going to leave. There's nothing you can do. If they really love you, they'll stay. You know, but at the
you keep holding yourself from saying
because it's so much. Because I know we got people watching.
She want to say it goes a long way.
It goes a long way. On top of just, I mean,
it keeps moving. That's what I'm saying.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then my thighs gonna be touching it.
She got thick thighs over here, y'all. She got them thick thighs. So we wanna we wanna ask you guys some questions, and then we also wanna give you guys a few pointers on how it is to date. And we are women here, so of course we
coming
on
from a woman's point of view,
a woman's perspective.
Now I have my fiance. He's been a single father for a long time, and
my cousin Alex.
I'ma just give him props. He did his thing, you know, and he's an example of what a single father should be.
The epitome.
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, because kids be spoiled, and when you try to talk to their kids, it's a problem. That's true, but I think that comes into your relationship. Because if you have spoiled kids and you know you have spoiled kids and you have a partner there that's trying to help you raise your child, then
you got to be prepared for whatever is next. You got to be prepared.
Me and my fiance had equal reign on our children, all 3 of them. So, you know, it took some time for us to kind of comb it out, but if I see something, I'm gonna call a spade a spade. Exactly. If you're doing something wrong, I'm gonna tell you you're doing it wrong.
And you can't be afraid.
No,
you can't be afraid.
Now, sometimes it is hard though, because you kind of feel like, okay, these are not my children, and that's really hard too. That's a whole.
But now, when you feeding them, when you clothing them, when you bathing them, when you putting the roof over,
I'm telling you, I am the example. I am the example because I feel like we have a good. You know, like we got something good going, but at times it's very hard for me, and I don't want to. That's one of the things that I wanted to talk about today is how hard it is as a step parent, kind of balancing between this is not your biological child, which is easy for people to say. Right. Treat this child like your treat this child like your own child. But it's not that easy. And a lot of people say they have their own parent. If their parent is still alive, still in their life, they have their own parent. So there's but so much that you can like step in to try to, you know, you don't want to seem like.
But it depends if that parent is present in that child's life. Of course, they gotta have 2 parents. They got a mom, they got a dad. But not always is that parent present in that child's life. So with you stepping in and being that stepmom, you married to their dad, there's certain privileges that comes along with that. And then their outside parent will have to understand that, because at the end of the day, they're living under your roof.
No, that's true.
So you really don't have no say in my household.
No, that's true.
And not if you're not abusing that child, if you're not doing anything wrong to that child, that parent outside, if you discipline that child or whatever it is, they shouldn't have anything negative to say.
No, we don't have no problems with that. Like, even the outside parent is very open with, look, y'all, listen to, you know, and I don't want to get too into our situation. No. All I'm trying to say is it's not as easy as it sounds. Even though we have something good going, and like I feel like a parent figure in my stepchildren's life, and I feel like a mother role in their life. Sometimes it's a fight inside of me to say, am I treating these children differently than my own child? And sometimes you kind of overcompensate. Let me tell you something.
They're always not going to like you.
No, I know that.
We went through this with our parents, and sometimes we didn't even like our own parents.
Yeah, that's true.
If you got to, whatever the situation is, if you feel like you come across, especially they boys too. You know what I mean? Gladly, they not girls. You ain't got to deal with no attitude. You ain't got to deal with
please, they got them too. They got the attitudes.
You think so?
What? Yes, they have attitudes, and I be having a ring neck sometimes.
I don't know. I ain't got to deal with that with Kamal. Thank God.
Yeah, no, maybe not. He's not old enough. He'll be creeping up there. And yeah, they get attitudes too. But I'm just saying, it's a issue inside. Like you always overthink. I'm a very analytical. I overthink things. So sometimes I'm like overthinking, and sometimes I may be even more lenient than I would on my own, because I feel like, you know, I don't want them to look. Yeah, you kind of you always questioning yourself. You know, it's a lot of things that people don't think about, like from the outside looking in. They think that everything is just all, you know, no, it's hard work.
It's hard work.
Trying to juggle everybody's feelings.
Being a parent is hard
period.
Work. I mean, this job is a 24/8. Not even 7. 25/8 job. This job goes on and on. It never stops. No matter how old your child is, they can be in their 40s. You still a parent, and you still are obligated.
My mother will tell you that.
You're still obligated to that child. You bring them in.
My baby.
Yeah, you still. I mean, so it's hard. Not this. I don't think it's that hard. I'm not saying like it's hard being a parent. I don't like being a parent.
No, not that you don't like it.
No, but what I'm saying is it's a job. You know what I mean? Oh my God, I read an article, and the guy was just saying. First of all, he said we're not single if you're getting child support.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Oh, we gotta talk about that too.
Oh my God.
We have to talk about child support.
If you get child support, you're not a single parent. You're a single woman. And I said I didn't say to him, but I wanted to say to him because I was reading the article. Wait, I feel like if you're in a household alone, it's just you and your kids, and you're not married, you're not dating, whether you're receiving child support or not, I feel like you're still a single parent.
Well,
finances is not everything. I feel like your
I said
presence
when
is
the
more.
father, like for instance, my father and my mother wasn't together, but my father was very involved in my life. Like I went to see him and stuff like that. So I mean, technically, my mother would consider herself a single mother. But when I think back about it, it was like my father was
Because it's
always
different when
really,
you growing up in a household with two parents versus one parent. The kids come out differently. It's a different product that gets produced.
But all kids come out differently. You could have a double parents and the kids still turn out pieces of shit.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, for real, it's just every household is different. So you could have a single mother that's outstanding and the father's doing his thing, and you know they raise a outstanding person.
Hello. My mother raised
for real. No, for real.
She did a hell of a job.
Yeah, and your dad was still in your
and
life.
he was still in and out. I wouldn't say he was in there, girl. Don't give me credit. Don't give him too much
All right,
credit.
well, we love Mr. Richard.
I love him and I miss him though dearly. But
No, I feel what you're saying. But I mean, technically, I guess you would be a single mother. But I think it's important for the father to be. It's not just child support.
But that's what I'm saying. I think your presence is more productive than a present. And money is not everything. You being there is everything for that child. I believe they'll come out a little bit better. You know, knowing that I can call dad. He was there for my basketball games, my football games. He was there when I learned he taught me how to ride a bike. He taught me how to throw my first football. And I'm saying this because I have a son. I had to teach him how to stand up over the toilet and use the bathroom. You know what I mean? I had to be there when he you know, because he played football for a little while. He don't play no more because
another story
for another day. I was there when cheering him on when he should have had that male figure there. I feel like he needed both parents there, and it wasn't there. Just because you send me a few dollars every month, you thinking you doing your job? No. At 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, when he got a fever and I got to get up and go to the hospital. That's true. But then it is what it is. You know what I mean? You take it with a grain of salt and you move it. You keep it pushing.
Well, let's talk about child support.
Let's talk about that.
That's a hot topic, okay?
Child support.
So what do you think about child support? Do you feel like child support should go through the court, or do you feel like it shouldn't?
I think it should.
It should go through the court. Why?
And you know what? I used to think differently. I used to feel like I don't need him. I'm independent. I can do it by myself. I don't need you. I can take care of my child on my own. But no. And this is I've recently started changing the way that I think and started thinking outside the box. I just feel like if he brung this child into the world, it's his responsibility as well. And if you don't make him stand up or recognize that he has to be a man to step up and provide for this child, then who will?
What about devil's advocate? What about men that are there and are providing and women still decide to put them on child support through the court?
He shouldn't have an issue with it. I don't think he should have an issue with it. If you're going to do what you're going to do, you're going to do what you do regardless. It don't matter if the courts made you pay or if it came from you. I don't think that it should be an issue or he should have an attitude or he shouldn't agree because you took it to court. Listen, that's what the courts are there for. And so many people that don't have that privilege to have a man with a head on his shoulders and say, you know what, I'm going to have to provide for it. I know that it's going to be extra strain on this woman because she has my child living there with her, let alone she got her own like business going on or whatever it is. I don't think that it should be an issue because you're taking this guy to court for child support. No, he shouldn't be.
But
mad.
if he's already paying, what's the like if he's
if you guys can have a mutual agreement outside of the courts, that's fine. That's totally fine. But my problem is with the men that's not doing nothing and the women that don't hold them responsible for their, you know what I mean? It's like, why would you not take them? They're not doing nothing for you or that child. Why would you not take them to court and demand that they take care and their responsibilities? Because it's not only your responsibility.
Yeah, it's true. I think that topic is so touchy because so many people abuse the system, and that goes for both men and women. Okay, we know that between you and I, we taking care of our children. We going to work, providing for our kids. A lot of women out there ain't doing that. Like first of all, they living off the system. They are abusing the system, and then taking the men to court for child support, and the kids still look like
right. But we're not talking about them. We're gonna get to them raggedy ones in a second. We're talking about real women out here taking care of their responsibilities, doing what they gotta do to provide for their family. Those are the ones that we are talking to. Those are the ones that we want to capture.
I wish men would just get it the fuck together.
But no,
I wish.
You know, you're right.
Oh, I'm like, wait.
No.
You don't want them to get it together?
They definitely need to get it together. But at the same time, and this is just me too, you gotta just be careful who you lay down with and have a child with.
No,
not everybody's a man just because they can make a baby.
Oh God, now that's
just because they have a
that's
whatever.
The root.
They are not men.
Sometimes people, you don't know these people until you they could be perfect damn fathers until y'all start breaking up or y'all start fighting and getting into it, and then all of a sudden they turn into another person.
And you know what? That's why they have the court system.
And it goes into place with divorce too. Like you've been married to this person for 10 years, he's been a stand-up father, and then all of a sudden y'all mad at each other, and now he want to take it out on you.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's not a real man.
Even though my father was there for me and he took care of me and he paid, he paid for my school and stuff, because I went to private school, so he paid for my schooling. It was like, there was issues there, and then it was like once the issues became prominent, and like it kind of gave her no choice but to like go to court and just get it documented. I need this to take care. My mother took care of me, and she wasn't no like lame mother that was going to get her hair and her nails done instead of paying for my school. I always had food. I always had clothing. She made sure that money went towards taking care of me. So it was like, you got upset about something and you taking it out on me on this money. It's not really taking it out on me because I'm taking care of my child with the money. Right.
A lot of people are just not mature. You know what I mean? And you just never know somebody until hit the fan.
It's true. That's why I said all is fair in love and war. Once you turn into enemies,
a thin line.
And it's a shame because these are your children. It's like, don't take
But they're not seeing it like that at this time. They're angry. They are upset the fact that they feel like you left them or you played them or you got into another relationship with somebody. So they feel like they're hurting you when they're really hurting the child. And it shouldn't be like that. And that's why I say maturity is everything. When you're dealing with somebody, even us, we got to mature a lot more, and we mature over the years.
But I'm going to say something that may ruffle some feathers. But my fiance and I were talking about this the other day, and it was like, okay, when he and I weren't together, he always provided what I asked for Malia. I never asked him for money. I asked him to buy XYZ. And he always did it. It wasn't a problem. So we never had an issue when it came to that. A lot of the times, women are expecting money to pay. And I understand it takes money to pay to raise children. We're not talking about the ones that's going to take money and spend it on their children. Some women will take their money and go get their hair done. And it's just, they'll go buy the newest bag. And I'm okay with having the father of my child provide items or things that I need, even if it's paying for her school. Like, you can send a check to the school as long as the school gets paid for. I'm totally okay with that. A lot of women just want a check. Like, no, it don't matter. No, you need to pay me the child support.
Those
and it's like,
are no good. I wouldn't even categorize them as women. Those are little girls, and they need to grow up. If you gotta live off your child support, support, you ain't no good. You ain't no good. I don't like stuff like that. And it goes both ways, women and men. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people out here that's not playing the part.
It's true.
And then
it's a double standard too.
It's a double standard.
Because there's single fathers out there who don't get child support from the mother. And then it's like, okay, well, how do you do that? And that's a whole nother subject. You want to jump into that? That's a whole left field.
Somebody asked the question and they say, how would you feel if you had a gay child? Now, that's a totally different subject. We're not talking about
parenting, though.
Sexuality.
All right, so we don't want to go all the way that far because we're talking about parenting today. Okay.
Yeah, today we're talking about parenting, so we're gonna go.
We're gonna reel it back in, that's something for, I guess, another day.
Yeah.
So anyway, what else you got on your notes?
Well, I want to talk about one of my favorite books. I don't know if people read it or not or whatever, but it's Steve Harvey's
Think Like a Man.
Act Like a Lady, Think Like a Man. That is like one of the best books. That book will have you like, listen, skedaddle. And this is me just speaking from a woman's perspective. That book,
You mean
if
in
you've
regards to
never,
parenting?
in regard to dating and being a parent, just dating period. You know what I mean? That has a lot to do with dating. But it also helps us single moms out. It helps the women out, period. It has them thinking a totally different way.
Yeah.
So if you haven't read that book, I would suggest you guys go out there, invest on, I think on Amazon, maybe $10.
I think it's more, that book is more like showing women that you have value. Yes.
Yes, but that transitions
into being a parent,
into being a parent, into being a mom, into dating, all of these things that you need to be aware of, especially if you're not married. The ultimate goal is marriage. That's what everybody's dating for. I don't think we out here dating just for fun. Nobody want to be out here just having sex with multiple people. These are things that, especially if you have a child, you want to set an example for these people. So I think
Did you get that clearly?
Did you get me? I feel like that book will definitely guide you. Definitely guide you.
Can you say it a little louder?
Definitely guide you down that right path. It won't steer you wrong.
At least, I think I was kind of raised knowing how much value I have. Like, it was just in me. Like, I was taught it from the beginning. I was taught to love my people, love yourself, and how freaking lucky the world is to have you, pretty much. And not like to be arrogant.
No.
But it's like you have something to offer to the world. You have something to offer to a man.
You're the prize.
And not only saying that because you a good man now.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good thing, okay?
Yeah. Hello. Amen.
So I ain't going to try to take nothing away, but a woman, a good woman, a man who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Hello.
Okay, so, but I think that book really teaches women, especially women who don't really know their value or don't even realize that they have value.
Right.
Just kind of like you said, it helps them to think about things differently. And not saying you got to just go like in the movie. She was just like to the book and she did exactly what the book said. But you need to know that there, you have a lot to offer to the world. You have a lot to offer to a man, to your children. And you need to know that men can't just take you for granted and can't come into you and your children's life and do whatever the hell they want to do. And it's a hard lesson. I mean, even
you women,
us women,
not me no more because I'm about to be off.
Praise his name.
Won't he do it? Hallelujah. But I'm gonna just say this: don't be so quick to give yourself to a man that don't belong to you.
Hello.
Now, if that went over your head, child.
Don't say child.
I mean, if that went over your head, Miss Lady, you don't need to be dating. Now, don't be so quick to give yourself to a man that do not belong to you. It's so many. You know what I hate? When I see these stupid behind posts that says side chicks is winning.
Oh gosh.
Side chicks is winning where? When? How?
We gotta reel it back again.
You young ladies, you need to get it together.
She got a personal thing going on.
I'm sorry. Side chicks is not winning, honey.
Let's see. We got 7 minutes left.
Really? That was fast.
Know.
We didn't even take any
about all things.
We didn't take any
calls.
We didn't take any calls. Nobody didn't call us yet.
Because my phone is probably somewhere vibrating.
Women out there, if you're gonna date a guy and you have children, make sure this guy is honest with you. You want to make sure he's patient with you. I'm sorry, because this is the stuff it takes to raise a child. You know what I mean? You gotta have time. You gotta have patience. You gotta be honest. Possibly therapy.
Can we talk about homework and stuff? The thing that you were just.
Girl,
because that's a big part of being a parent, and I'm serious. Trying to help children with homework.
It's frustrating.
Oh my gosh.
It's frustrating, and this is me just being real right now. I was helping my son the other day with his homework.
We all do.
Let's just take a pause for that one and commend me because his homework is my homework.
Oh my
I'm tired of these teachers But it's not the teachers.
No,
The kids.
I think it's a balance of between the school probably not doing right.
What they're supposed to.
They probably got 50 kids in the class. Everybody's
They got 30
doing
kids.
different
I just come to the other day and I'm like, Kamar, you know, because he has issues too. And, she said Kamar has an attitude problem. He talks under his breath. He's very disrespectful. Mm-hmm. Mind you, he's in the 4th grade now. He's been in your class for 2 weeks. I known this kid my whole life, and you sitting here trying to tell me who my child is. I was offended. So I definitely checked her. I came up to the school. Every time I was off, I went up to the school and I spent time in there and I helped her out. Then I got to understand that when she was coming, she's overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's too many.
It's too many children in her class, and that ain't got. We'll talk about that later. But I felt so. But I know my kid. You can't tell me that my kid is disrespectful. My kid ain't never been disrespectful a day in his life. So for you to tell me that, lady, you want a problem. Girl, I want. You know I'm from Brooklyn. We gotta wrap it up. We had a good talk tonight.
Yeah, parenting is such a large topic.
You know they say the struggle is real.
Oh, it's real.
The juggle is real between parents.
We just want to talk about it a little bit today.
Yeah, we touched on it just a tad bit. We had a lot
Our
more.
Our co-host was not here today, which I wish she was, because she has a whole nother set of experiences from being married and having older stepchildren. So she could have really learned a lot. But I'm sure we'll talk about parenting again. Another week.
Touch on it again.
We don't know do we know what next week's topic is going to be?
We don't know what next week's topic is going to be, but it's going to be juicy. And I think we're going to get a little messy. Subscribe.
Like my videos and subscribe.
Hello.
Shameless plug. And
Shameless. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody for tuning in. This is the second week. We are at the first show. We did how many views?
We did like 2,000.
Over 2,000. Yeah. So let's keep it up. Let's keep it going.
Share this video with your friends.
I want y'all to share with everybody.
We want to talk about it. We want to hear what y'all have to say about these topics that we're talking about, because it's things that we need to talk about as a society. If we're gonna elevate to the next level, people,
hello,
we need to do better. We only gonna have each other this next 4 years, so we better start figuring it out. Okay.
Inauguration is right around the corner, guys. So let's get it together. Hello. Oh man.
What?
No, I'm saying we gotta go. I don't want to leave, but we gotta go.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right.